Ladies and gentlemen, please give your round of applause for Reese Ruiz, President and Founding Partner of Rags2Riches. Welcome, Reese.
Hello, good afternoon. Hi. Come on, we need more energy. Good afternoon. Okay, that's a lot better. See, it calms the nerves somehow, my nerves. So, you've seen me in the big screen without makeup, which I regret for a long time. But hopefully I'm redeeming that right now. So I'm here to talk about Rags2Riches. Oh, that's not Rags2Riches. Sorry, okay. So I'm here to talk about Rags2Riches, but allow me to talk to you about something more because, well, you've seen the video, you've seen me talking about it in the video, and you see me again talking about it in person. Overload of me. So, some things I want to share with you. First is why I am doing what I'm doing, like the purpose, what we're doing, how to do it well, like some tips that we've learned along the way, and why I'm doing what I'm doing. Again, it ends and it starts with the why. Because we believe that it starts with a passion, it starts with a purpose. And I think you've seen that in Sam's talk earlier, that it starts with something you're so irritated about or you're so inspired about that you want to do something about it. So first question, why am I doing what I'm doing? So whenever I think about really petty things like what shoes to wear and I think about it for an hour, or why didn't I have makeup in that video? And I thought about it for a long time. I look at this picture and just realize that these problems are not problems at all. We have a lot more problems to think about. We're in this world, and sometimes we forget that every single decision we make, the things that occupy our minds, they change other people's lives. And I know this personally. And I'll show you something that I think all of you are sometimes afraid your parents would show visitors that go to your house. Your baby pictures. I will show them here freely without my parents telling me to do so. So around 80% of my baby pictures are like this. This is the theme of my baby pictures. Under the cross, on top of the donation box, in front of a church, and this is because my mother is a missionary worker in different churches in the Philippines. And we were going around ever since I was 3, and that's how I grew up. I grew up talking and playing with street children. I never thought they were street children. I thought we were all equal. They wanted to be doctors, I wanted to be a dancer. The girl who wanted to be a dancer is a social entrepreneur now. Imagine what that person could have been. But because they didn't have opportunities that I did, they weren't able to get out of poverty. But the opportunities I got were not because of myself. They were because of a group of people, anonymous up to now, who decided to come up with a scholarship fund and provide education for those who can't pay for it themselves. And I am here today because of them. They don't know me, probably. I still don't know them. But in a very intimate, deep way, we are so connected to each other. And I will never forget that. And that's a manifestation of how connected we really are. That every single decision we make to throw a garbage just somewhere or to help somebody in need will definitely change lives, for better or worse. And so this was the principle of Rags2Riches as well, that every single decision we make affects somebody else. This is Payatas. It is the largest garbage dump site in Metro Manila. It has around 500,000 people, 40 football fields big. Imagine how big that is. A lot of garbage. People work every day in front of the garbage dump site, in the garbage dump site, on top of the garbage dump site, everything that has to do with the garbage dump site, which is no way for anyone to live. And in this community, you've met her in the video. Her name is Ning. She's one of our artisans, one of her first artisans. She was a scavenger for a long, long time. And she has 5 children. Her husband works odd jobs. And around 20 years ago, she used to get these scraps of cloth from the garbage dump site and made foot rugs out of them. I'll show you some pictures later. But basically, she worked really hard every day creating a lot of foot rugs, but with no access to the market and no access to the supply because middlemen also got them. So the scraps of cloth that she used to get for free in the garbage dump site, she now had to get from a set of middlemen who just passed on the scraps from one hand to another. And so at the end of every day, for working so hard for the whole day, she only earned as much as, of course, she didn't earn it in baht. She earned it in pesos, hopefully, because that would be totally weird. So she earned an equivalent of 7 baht per day. What can you buy with 7 baht per day? Anyone? Soy milk? How big is that? Good for a family of 5? Probably not. Yeah, it's the same. Oh my God, yeah, unless they're, yeah. Okay, so it's so difficult for people to live with this a day, obviously. And they work so hard. It's not just because they're not working hard enough for it. They really don't have the opportunities to get to the money that they deserve or the value that they deserve. And the sad thing is, to depress you even further, there's like 100,000 more women like her in Payatas, in that area, and around 20 million more in the Philippines. And this really deeply disturbed us. We thought, I was going here during college, so I started doing Rags2Riches straight out of university. I was going there every weekend, just teaching math and science to children, and just realizing that the problem is so much bigger than what I can do over a weekend. So what can we do about it? So a group of young professionals came together, crazy, crazy people who wanted to change the world. My husband actually is one of the co-founders. He wasn't my husband then. So you see, a lot of relationships are built because of social entrepreneurship. Relationship between the rich and the poor, designers, artisans, husbands and wives. So yeah, a lot of benefits. And somehow these crazy people started to really change something. And this for us was very inspiring, that a group of people with good intentions wanted to do something really good, started making it happen. But it wasn't that easy. We only did this with the following. 3 enterprising women from Payatas. So not a lot of people believed us, because imagine, we're not from there, and we go there and say, we're going to help you out. It's very hard to believe, right? A common foot rug, which I will show you later, $200, which was our startup capital, which was not even our money. It was a donation by one of the students of one of our co-founders, Father Xavier Alpasa. And we used this to buy our first set of scrap cloth and then sold in different bazaars and just made the money work. And as you probably noticed for the past couple of minutes, a lot of talking. And you will notice this like throughout the presentation. So what did we do about the problem? What did we do about this situation? We transformed these scraps of cloth. This is how they look like. So this is how the rugs look like before as well. So these are very, very common in the Philippines. You go around the streets, you will see this like being sold in the sidewalks. And these are the products that the mothers used to make. And so we told them, what can we do about the rugs to improve the value, to increase the value? And we discussed a lot with them. Again, a lot of talking. We transformed that to this. Plain colored, beautiful, you can put it in your house and you'll be proud of it. You will talk about it to your friends. So our phase 1 was selling all of these different products. Again, I resonate with what Sam said, just really prototype. We did like a couple of 100 pieces, like 700 pieces, and we decided to sell in a bazaar. And so we said, if it sells, we'll get some feedback. We will know if we have a market for it. So after 2 hours, there were no more rugs. Everything sold out. 700 pieces of plain colored rugs sold out in 2 hours. And people loved it. And we said, okay, that's a good sign. But you know what? If ever people didn't like it, we could have done something else and just sold it the same way until we get it right. So it's always just about the patience to find your right product. And you've, again, met him in the video. His name is Rahul Laurel. But just put it into context. Rahul Laurel is like the Giorgio Armani of the Philippines. everyone wants to have his gowns. Like, everyone. And he's such an amazing designer with a really good heart. But we didn't know him. We didn't start Rags2Riches as a fashion brand. Like, in the beginning, it wasn't our first intention, as was obvious with what we were wearing in the video. We just wanted to really help this community. And so we approached Rahul Laurel almost like a cold call, just really called him up and said, we have these rugs. What can we do about it? How can you help us improve the value? So imagine a rug. So imagine it's rectangular. And then he rolled it, placed 3 imaginary buttons, and he said, you know, guys, this is not a rug. This is a wine holder. So from a $1 product to a $20 product, in a rolling of the rug, placing 3 buttons, slapping on the designer name, you now have an amazing, an amazing product that you could bring in the Fashion Week. And of course, the quality came with it. We wanted to create beautiful, beautiful products that have amazing design, but we don't want to forget the story. But we also don't want to sell it on the basis of the story alone. We didn't want to go to people and say, please buy this because people are dying. Please buy this because people are poor. That's not the way to sell it. It won't empower the people you're helping, and it's not going to make the enterprise sustainable. So we wanted to be very strict about our quality. In fact, in the beginning, our rejection rate was at 90%. It looked like it was not going to work with 90% rejection rate. But what we did was always, okay, what? Sorry. So what we did was, I couldn't even read it, was really talk to the people and talk to the artisans and told them, okay, this is not that nice, but there is a better way to improve it. And we also never forgot the people behind the products. In fact, for every product we have, you can flip the card and you will see the name of the artisan who made the product. So it has a very special personal connection with you. And from a very specific solution to a specific social problem, we have graduated into being a platform to lift Filipino artisans out of poverty. By providing artisans access to the market, access to design. So we connect them with designers, we talk to designers, and translate all of a design talk to community talk, and all the community talk to designer talk. We do that a lot. Access to training and quality of life program. We have an in-house artisan academy where all of our community members can learn skills training and life training. We create home accessories and fashion accessories. And for the past 5 years, we have trained around 800 artisans. And our goal was a lot bigger than this. But at the same time, we recognized that every single person would have different needs, different ways of talking. 200% increase in household income, 1,000 tons of scrap cloth upcycled, 5 designers from the Philippines, 1 international designer. And how do we do this well? We have an amazing, crazy, crazy team. 15 people from different backgrounds who all have the good hearts for this. We built bridges with our designers because they wanted to help out, but not necessarily through donation, but through what they do best, which is design. We create value with our products. We want the products to sell by themselves, but at the same time share the story. And we connect with people, we show our passion, and we tell them why we're passionate about this. Because we believe that people don't just buy the products, they buy the purpose. Because when the going gets tough, you have to go back to your purpose as well. And for us, it's always about our community artisans. It's about our belief that we're all connected in a very profound way, in a way that somehow we have forgotten, because we feel that we're in a different world. We're in the MBA world, or we're in the community world, we're in the social enterprise world. But honestly, and I think we should always go back to this truth, that at the end of the day, there's no such thing as different worlds. We only have one, and we have to take care of ourselves and always remember this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Reese.
Thank you, Reese.
Such a great presentation.
So what was that? That has been like rolling in my head for a while during the whole presentation.
Someone was saying it's very cold.
Oh, thanks.
Your product is probably warm for them, that's why.
Okay, we have a few questions for you. The first one is, what channel did you use to take your product worldwide?
To take the products worldwide?
Yeah.
We started with online because people actually really look at the web all the time, and more people are shopping online. So that's how we did it really quickly without a lot of costs.
And how were you able to capture overseas market?
So it was not a straight, clear-cut process because first of all, international is a different market. Second of all, fashion is a very exclusive market. So it took a while to get there. So what we did was really continue sharing the story in different ways. So we've had like several awards throughout the years in Rags2Riches, and we use that to tap more people and share our stories to them. And somehow people from the international market got the story and wanted the products as well.
Does having local designer kind of help marketing your product in worldwide?
Worldwide, not so much, but
Right?
locally, definitely.
Okay.
So can you share us more about your London Fashion Week?
Yes.
Sure. I get distracted easily. Sorry, guys. Okay, so yes, London Fashion Week. We were one of 2 representatives of the Philippines to the International Fashion Showcase, which is part of the London Fashion Week. So I think a lot of people all over the world are starting to think about the impact of their purchases, and they're thinking more and more of their wallets as a means for them to vote for something rather than to get something for themselves alone. So for us, it was a great advantage that we're in London Fashion Week. We got invited and chosen as Philippine representatives. So we're very honored for that. And a lot of people started going to us and wanting to share Rags2Riches to the world. So this coming June, we're going to be distributing in the UK and Europe.
Amazing.
So we have a question.
I think
Yes, please.
In the past, we said that the money about 7 baht a day. How much at this time that the people who work with this company, how many Philippine peso a day that she got now?
So we're paying our community artisans per piece because not all of them can work for 8 hours a day. Most of them have kids in their homes and they're home-based as well. But we've computed the labor cost to be competitive so that if they're able to work for longer, like the regular hours, they could reach as much as minimum wage. And even more.
How much they got now per day?
So okay, per piece or per day? Because there's no like actual per day. Per day. Okay, so you can probably compute that as 400, so 300 to 400.
300 to 400.
Sorry? Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I think that wraps up the Q&A session because we have limited time.
Okay.
Thank
Ladies and
you.
gentlemen, Reese, thank you very much.